Whatever is going on politically or on the day to day, there is the growing specter of climate change lurking around every corner, and just kind of ready in the wings to kind of overtake all the problems that we seem to think are the most serious, pressing problems of the day. Got this from Nick Humphrey, from the U.S. National Weather Service. Arizona, another record warm low temperature this morning in Phoenix. 85 Fahrenheit. 85 degrees Fahrenheit was a record low yesterday. Or today, I guess it was. That would be this morning. Highs across the lower deserts will be 109 to 111 Fahrenheit with a high heat risk. Hot temperatures Wednesday through Thursday across the region will impact communities such as Phoenix, Yuma, El Centro, and Globe. Do your best to reduce your exposure to heat. Avoid altogether if you can. Moving on. Oh, I don't know if these are showing up or not because I don't know if my things are working or not. Are they working? Are they working, guys? Are they working? It's really frustrating when I get to this point. Sean, thank you so much. I appreciate your super chat. Now, that's okay. You know, tune in when you can. I always appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, I can't tell whether my buttons are working or not. Oh, I guess they are. They are now. I guess I've reset them. So, moving on. Everything is moving quite slowly on my computer. Record-breaking Cristobal could approach U.S. Gulf Coast as a hurricane. This is today. There's a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico. Storm Cristobal unloaded flooding rainfall and made landfall in southern Mexico on Wednesday, and AccuWeather meteorologists are busy looking ahead to where the storm may go after meandering across southern Mexico. The storm is expected to take a northward turn and could gain strength over the Gulf of Mexico prior to reaching the southern United States coastline. Cristobal has already set records in the Atlantic Basin. It became the earliest ever third named tropical storm to form in any Atlantic hurricane season in recorded history on Tuesday. So that's something. That's, not a good thing, but record-setting, another record broken for this year. Previous storm to hold that record was Tropical Storm Colin, and it developed during the midday hours of June 5th in 2016. Typically, the third named storm does not brew until way later in the season, occurring on average around August 13th. If you want to know where we are on the timeline of climate change, typically the third named storm doesn't happen until August 13th. However, this year it happens on June 3rd. Or June 2nd, actually. The disturbance first developed as a depression over the Bay of Campeche in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico on Monday, June 1, the first official day of hurricane season. AccuWeather forecasters began monitoring the potential for this system last week. Cristobal is forecast to complete a loop over land in southeastern Mexico. This is all controlled, guys. It's HARP, man. It's HARP that's making this happen, guys. Just kidding. I'm kidding. The National Hurricane Center confirmed that Cristobal made landfall in the center of Campeche, near Atasta, Mexico, and just to the west of Ciudad del Carmen, at 8:35 a.m. Central Daylight Time Wednesday. The storm's maximum sustained winds were 60 miles per hour with higher gusts occurring. So here you go. Here's the track that it's on, kind of heading towards Louisiana, if it follows that track. We will keep an eye on it. Here is a news story in the Washington Post. Summers are growing longer due to climate change. Are they really? While winters are dramatically shrinking. Dramatically. Operative word. This is from June 1st. The Earth is warming and disturbing the balance of the seasons. Data makes it clear that summers are expanding while winters are substantially shortening. I recently completed an analysis that examined the hottest and coldest 90 days of the year, approximating summer and winter over the past two 30-year periods, 1960 to 1989 and 1990 to 2019. What I learned was that the hottest temperatures that defined the first 30 years expanded over additional days in the most recent 30 years. Conversely, the coldest temperatures defining the preceding 30 years contracted. In other words, most locations globally, including the United States and Canada, have seen their summer season lengthen and the winter season shrink. And we know that we're experiencing major disruptions of weather patterns that are no longer happening when they're supposed to be happening. That's why, flowers are blooming much earlier, or blooming and then hit by a cold spell and then getting frostbitten, and this is disrupting growing seasons and hibernation patterns and insect emergence patterns, etc., etc., etc. The vast majority of 6,000 weather stations analyzed globally now experience a longer summer compared with the previous 30-year reference period. Okay. So there you go. Stuff we already know, but reviewing the data that keeps on keeping on continues to come in. Yes, Scott Andrew, Washington Post got a scoop. Chris Lai, enjoy that. It's a lovely 57 degrees here in my part of the Pacific Northwest. India battling 50 C temperatures and locusts. You know what? Give me a moment, Prudhomme. I meant to cover that. And what happened was everything is being sucked into a vortex on my computer. Anyways, where is it? Sorry. Pardon the stall, guys. I apologize. I may not even be able to get to this story. I don't know. Where is it? Oh, blah. One day, things might work on my computer. No, that's not true. Things always work on my computer, but everything seems to be moving at molasses place right now. So molasses pace, not at molasses place. Somewhere in here. Anyways, yes, all around the U.S., there are hot temperatures happening. I saw that Chicago was experiencing a bit of a heat wave. We've got Northern California having a heat wave, Southern California heat wave. All of the southwestern U.S. is experiencing a bit of said heat wave. We're going to get up to 95 today, I believe it was forecasted. Yes, Prud'homme. Okay. Got it. That took a really long time, and I apologize. From the big wobble, as the riots in the U.S. grab the world headlines, northern India is battling a massive locust invasion. I read a little bit about this a couple weeks ago. A heat wave touching 50 degrees Celsius, that's 122 degrees Fahrenheit, a severe cyclonic storm, and COVID-19. As the riots in the U.S. grab the headlines this week, the unprecedented invasion by desert locusts has increased and hit large swaths of India and Pakistan, who are in the middle of their battle with coronavirus pandemic. According to the FAO, large and aggressive swarms of these crop-devouring short-horned insects have invaded more than 24 districts, covering more than 50,000 hectares of desert area of western India. Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat are the worst affected states. To make matters worse, parts of India saw temperatures rise to 47.6 C on Tuesday, as most of North India faced severe heat wave conditions. The heat wave, which officials say is likely to last until the weekend, comes even as the region struggling with rising COVID-19 infections and swarms of locusts that are ravaging crops. Churu in Rajasthan state recorded a temperature of 50 degrees, that's 122 degrees Fahrenheit, India's highest. That's super hot, guys. And imagine what the humidity there is. Imagine how devastatingly uncomfortable that is. To make matters worse, a powerful cyclonic storm in the Arabian Sea is very likely to intensify into severe cyclonic storm during the next 6 hours. The India Meteorological Department said on Wednesday the cyclone designated Nisarga could make landfall between the coastal border region of Maharashtra and Gujarat states, with winds gusting up to 120 kilometers per hour, that's 75 miles per hour, the equivalent of a Category 1 hurricane. Fun times there. And by fun times, I mean shitty times. Let's see. We read that. Study shows today's atmospheric carbon dioxide levels greater than 23 million year record. Again, more good news. Common message in use to convey the seriousness of climate change to the public is the climate change. I don't know why I do that. Carbon dioxide levels are higher today than they have been in the last 1 million years. This new study by Brian Schubert, University of Louisiana at Lafayette, and co-authors Ying Kui and A. Hope Jaren used a novel method to conclude that today's carbon dioxide levels are actually higher than they've been for the past 23 million years. The team used the fossilized remnants of ancient plant tissues to produce a new record of atmospheric CO2 that spans 23 million years of uninterrupted Earth history. They have shown elsewhere that as plants grow, the relative amount of the two stable isotopes of carbon, carbon-12 and carbon-13, changes in response to the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. This research, published this week in Geology, is a next-level study measuring the relative amount of these carbon isotopes in fossil plant materials and calculating the CO2 concentration of the atmosphere under which the ancient plants grew. Furthermore, Schubert and colleagues' new CO2 timeline revealed no evidence for any fluctuations in CO2 that might be comparable to the dramatic CO2 increase of the present day, which suggests today's abrupt greenhouse disruption is unique across recent geologic history. Another point important to geological readers is that because major evolutionary changes over the past 23 million years were not accompanied by large changes in CO2, perhaps ecosystems and temperature might be more sensitive to smaller changes in CO2 than previously thought. As an example, the substantial global warmth of the Middle Pliocene 5 to 3 million years ago and Middle Miocene 17 to 15 million years ago, which are sometimes studied as a comparison for current global warming, were associated with only modest increases in CO2. Yikes. What does that mean? That means what's happening now is really not good. It's George Soros, yes. It's all his fault. Yeah, sorry guys, there's a lot of disturbance in the force right now, or in my stream, or in this stream in particular. My entire thing is just frozen up. Anyways. Prud'homme, unemployment also hit a 23 million year record. Yes. Yes, indeed. Sandy says, listen to this and then realize that Modi is robbing the environment by expanding coal mines. Yes. Yes, he is doing that. India and China, Middle East, they are expanding coal, not just coal mines, but coal plants, coal-fired power plants. Ryan Gorman, I agree, probably a good plan. Prud'homme, take it easy. Have a good one. Enjoy. Oh, I think you're saying bye to Sandy. See you later, Sandy. It's all right. Takes me a moment to catch up. Anyways, I think that's about all I have. Here, we'll leave you with some hopium. I'll put a little hopium in your pipe if you guys want to smoke a little today. Australian researchers set record for carbon dioxide capture. So apparently, they're working away. These scientists are working away at the CO2 capture contraptions. And apparently in Australia, they have set a record for capturing CO2. At this point in the climate change game, what can you say but go carbon capture? I don't know. We're probably going to need a multitude of things happening in order to save ourselves. Not only the weaning off of fossil fuels, not only trying to figure out how to deal with the global dimming situation, but we're probably going to definitely have to suck CO2 out of the atmosphere somehow, some way, somewhere. Using a metal organic framework, nanocomposite that can be regenerated with remarkable speed and low energy cost, researchers have developed a sponge-like technology that can capture carbon dioxide from a number of sources, even directly from air. The magnetic sponge is used to remove carbon dioxide using the same techniques as induction cooktops, using 1/3 of the energy than any other reported method. Well, there you go. Are you going to get on this or what? How quickly are we going to start capturing some carbon, guys? This technology makes it possible to store, separate, release, protect valuable commodities, enabling companies to develop high-value products. Oh boy, this is terrible, this sentence right here. Yay, carbon capture will allow us to continue capitalism at speed. Hey guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You can also support the channel at the links below. PayPal, Square, and Patreon. Also, all of my live streams are available for listening on Patreon if you happen to miss them during the day. So you can sign up for my Patreon for as little as $1. If you want to go check out the live streams, they are all there. Thanks a lot.